Joining us now is somebody who knows all about playing on that field and playing for the Packers. He is a Green Bay Packers legend. He is a 5-time All-Pro. He is a 5-time NFL champion. He is a member of the NFL's 50th anniversary team. He is a member of the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame. The Cowboys are at the Packers Sunday. That's a 1:05 p.m. Eastern game. I am joined by Jerry Kramer. Jerry, it is so good to have you on the show and visit with you once again. How are you today?
Hey, Jimmy, I'm doing great. It's great to be with you. I've always enjoyed your show.
Jerry, me too. I always enjoy talking to you. Jerry, let's talk about that 67 championship game between the Cowboys and the Packers, which is better known, of course, as the Ice Bowl. So when I say Cowboys versus Packers at Lambeau, what are the thoughts that go through your head?
Oh, they were always great rivals. You know, we played in '66. We played them in Dallas for the league championship for the right to go to Super Bowl I. And in '67, we played them in Green Bay, of course, for the right to go to the Super Bowl. So we won 2 Super Bowls after we beat the Cowboys twice. And so they were a bit of a young team at that time and a good team and maybe a great team. They had some absolutely great players, but they weren't quite mature enough at that particular point. But they went on to win their Super Bowls later on. So it's a great rivalry, and I loved it. I just enjoyed playing them, and I really enjoyed beating them.
Packers legend Jerry Kramer joining us. Jerry, it's expected to be chilly Sunday, but not nearly as cold as it was back in 1967. That day, the game time temperature for the Ice Bowl was 13 degrees below zero. The wind chill was almost minus 50. Is there any way to explain what it's like to step outside and play football in those temperatures?
You know, Jimmy, you almost have to experience it. Those numbers are almost surreal, you know, that very few people have been in 50 below temperatures. Actually, it was, my memory is 49 below at kickoff and 57 below at the end of the game. Got colder as the day wore on. So you can talk about that, but and unless you experience it like I did as a child, Jim, I grew up in northern Idaho, and I used to go hunting ducks and fishing at 25 below. So I understood about the cold, and I understood about the warmth and what you needed to do to prepare for the cold. So I put on thermal underwear, and I cut them off at the knee and the elbow, and I put a wool dickie around my neck, and I put gloves on. And I remember Gail Gillingham coming over and saying, "Are you going to wear gloves?" Hell yes, Gilly, it's almost 50 below out there. I'm not going to fool anybody. You want me to go out in my shirt sleeves and say this is ram weather, like George Allen did a couple of weeks before the Ice Bowl? No, you don't fool anybody. And the difficult thing is getting your mind off the cold and onto the game.
Packers great Jerry Kramer joining us. So the game itself, Jerry, you guys jump out to an early 14-0 lead. At that point, I know you had a healthy respect for the Cowboys, but did you think that maybe you might run away with that game when you jumped to that early lead?
Yeah, we got a couple breaks and scored rather easily, quite frankly, and assumed, you know, that we were going to have a easy day. And then the Cowboys got a few breaks and tied things up. And then in the second half, Jimmy, for whatever reason, we just almost drew a blank. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the final drive had 4 minutes and 68 seconds, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and it was like 68 yards. And we hadn't gained, well, in the previous 31 plays, 10 possessions, we'd gained a minus 9 yards. So now we get the ball with 4.5 minutes. We're 68 yards away from the end zone. It's 57 below zero chill factor, and you got to make something happen. Now, what is the force, or what is the energy, or what button can you push? Describe for me how you can elevate your performance all of a sudden and go 68 yards and score with 16 seconds and go on to the Super Bowl. I have never been able to define that moment very well and that whole drive. And it wasn't just one guy. It was a whole 11 guys. It was the team. Donnie Anderson, Chuck Machine, Skoronsky made a sensational block on the give play. Dowler made 2 or 3